Welcome to Bump Set Chat, the podcast where volleyball professionals come on and share their stories, experiences, and advice. And today, from the University of Hawaii, Amber Igiede. Welcome to Bump Set Chat, a podcast for volleyball professionals, players, and coaches to come on and share their stories, experiences, and advice. And today, I'm super excited. From University of Hawaii, I have Amber Igiede. Welcome.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm super excited. Anything volleyball, I love it.
Excellent. All right. So the way we start things off was we do 3 random questions. So are you ready?
Ooh, okay. Hit me with them.
All right. While at when you came back home to Louisiana, what was the one meal you looked forward to the most?
Jambalaya, hands down. Oh, and crawfish. And I hope a lot of people know what crawfish is, but crawfish.
All right. Excellent. What was the second question? What was the most interesting place you've ever played a volleyball match in?
Ooh, the most interesting place. Out of the country, I would say Brazil and Italy. We got to go to Brazil and when we with my team in Hawaii, and then Italy this past pro season. And also for college-wise, Long Beach. If anyone's ever played in Long Beach, you have the pyramid. It's a crazy atmosphere. So yeah.
All right. And last question, what was the last TV show or movie you watched?
Oh, Scandal. I just started Scandal. I love it. And on repeat is The Office. I have some Office lovers out there. I love it. It's my favorite
Absolutely.
show.
Now, have you watched the UK version of it as well, or just the US
They have
version?
with Ricky.
Yes, Gervais.
Yes, with Ricky Gervais. I have not seen it, but people said that's really good too. So
It is even more cringy than.
yeah.
Oh God, yes. Well, welcome to the podcast. So first of all, where are you from, and what did you study when you were at UH?
Yeah, so I'm from Baton Rouge, Louisiana, the South, and I studied psychology at UH. I have a bachelor's degree in psychology and a minor in ethnic studies. So yeah.
Right. Excellent. And now, when did you first discover volleyball?
Oh my gosh, my sister hates when I tell this story, but and I think I was 10 years old or maybe 9, but we were in school and we were, I think, in the gym, the PE gym, and a girl comes out of the room sweating. And we're like, what is that? I was like, what is that? What is she doing? My sister's like, volleyball, that's too hard. That's way too hard though. And I was like, I want to do it. And so I ended up trying out and I ended up making the team, which was super cool. At 10 years old, I was in 5th grade, which is, normal time people start playing volleyball.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's how I first discovered it, for sure.
Wow. And now, down in Baton Rouge, where does volleyball rank compared to, basketball and softball and the other sports?
Ooh, yeah, that's a good question. I think volleyball is definitely growing in the South. I know especially Texas it is, but in Louisiana it's definitely growing. Softball, baseball is a huge thing
Right.
in Louisiana. Yes, for sure. Softball and baseball are really big. And then I would say basketball and volleyball are I would say equivalent in football.
Yeah.
But yeah, I know everyone. It's a baseball state here. Everyone loves that here.
And now, you being the volleyball player, did you get a lot of looks like, hey, how come you're not playing basketball? Or like, you're playing volleyball?
Yes. Oh my gosh. Every single person who walks up to me thinks I'm a basketball player. I've gotten a few volleyball ones. I know I'm tall, so I don't get so annoyed at the question, but I know I'm tall, and I've interestingly enough, people would be surprised to know that I've never played basketball before. Volleyball is literally my only sport. I played tennis a little bit when I was younger, but yeah, volleyball has been my only sport. Fun fact, I really don't like people pushing me and touching me, so I literally cannot stand if someone's trying to push me in order for me to make a basket. I'm just like, oh no.
Yeah.
So yeah, volleyball is my only sport.
Okay. And now, did you play club or just high school?
Yeah, so I started playing club freshman year of high school. I started pretty late compared to other people. So I started when I was, I think, 14 or 15. And yeah, I played club.
Yeah. And how
and
important...
Red Storm
Club. Now, how important was playing club for you to being discovered and being able to play at that collegiate level?
Oh my gosh, it's like the biggest thing, I think. That's so ironic you bring that up because I just visited my club yesterday, and they're a big part, I would say, like the biggest part of my success because God bless her heart. Her name is Coach Donna Pixly. She's doing a great thing for the club, and they really raised me to be the person I was and the player I was. And on that, on the like tactical standpoint, I would really say club is really beneficial for kids and for players. It really college coaches watch you how you interact with your other teammates. They watch you from a personal standpoint, your personality, how you play, and how you are on the court versus off the court. And it's a really big tool I think coaches use to recruit you. So yeah, obviously you can in high school, but club is the really, I think, is the way, the portal for you to go through.
Yeah, and it's because college recruiter, college coach goes to a high school game, they're seeing every the skill level is like from the maybe from here to here. When you go to watch a club tournament, you're seeing more of your peers on that same level, and plus you see so much more volleyball players than just going to a high school game essentially.
Exactly. I would say that that's exactly true. High school, I would always say, obviously I love my high school, St. Michael, and my Coach Smith. I loved high school, and I would say it's really just the fun aspect of it. You're in high school and you have so much fun playing with your friends, and then once you're in club, it's fun, obviously, but as you get older, you realize that this is really a tool for other colleges to watch me. And I started to really take volleyball seriously, I would say, when I especially started a club as well. And so yeah, me personally, myself, our club, we were very small, like even like shorter girls too physically, and we were kind of on the farther court away from the open category, but it's almost a lesson I always tell everyone. It really doesn't matter where you are on the brackets or whatever. It really just matters the personality you have and the skill set you have, and coaches will see that, like outside of even skill level, they'll see your personality and see if you work hard and your work ethic. So yeah, no matter what type of club you are, or whether you're a big club or a small club, I still think it's a great tool.
Excellent. And now, what is the hook volleyball has on you that basically has put a fire in you to play Hawaii and then go play pro?
Oh my gosh, that's such a good question. I don't even know. I feel like um I was just thinking about this the other day, actually. I was thinking I think every athlete needs some sort of drive, some sort of goal, whether it's small, whether it's big, whether it's, okay, I want to stay in shape, or whether it's, I want to help my family out. And so I think every athlete needs some sort of goal. And I have my own drive. And that stems from, my family growing up. Like I have two very strict parents, and they really pushed us to work hard, and I have two other siblings. They pushed us to work hard, and I thank them for my work ethic, because I think they literally bred me to really work hard. And so my drive is to really work hard for them and to please them.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think everyone has their specific drive, but I definitely think for me personally, it's my family. And for me, it's like the other thing, which I always tell kids too, I always tell younger athletes, we spend literally every second of this day playing the sport. We spend every day, every hour thinking about volleyball or playing volleyball. And like, if you don't want to waste your time, why not want to be good at it, or at least, try to be good at it, So I always say my drive is, I don't want to waste my time either. I want to do well at this sport I dedicate hours to.
And now, when it came to going to Hawaii, what made you pick UH? Were there other colleges that were, you were, thinking about going to?
Oh my gosh, UH was just amazing. I came across I actually reached out to them. I watched a YouTube video. I was coming across a YouTube video of them playing against another team. I can't remember, but it was like a very long rally, and I can't even remember who won the rally, but I was just watching the fight UH had, and I was like, oh my gosh, this is the culture I want to be a part of. I reached out to them, and when I was, I think, 16, my junior year, and they came to my first. I literally offered them. I was like, please come to my first or come to my club tournament, and I offered my first club tournament. And I remember myself kicking myself. I was like, oh, why would I tell them to come to my first club tournament? It's always rough, the first tournament you have. but they ended up offering me in that tournament, and I said I would think about it, and no one really knows, but I didn't really get any big offers besides Hawaii.
Yeah.
And yeah, they offered me, and my parents were a little skeptical at first because of how far it is. But
Right.
after they met the coaches, yes, it's very far, 9 hours away from on flight from Louisiana. And once they met the coaches, though, they said 100% yes. So yeah.
Nice. And now, had you been out there before for a campus visit, or your first time out there was your first, your freshman year?
I went there after I committed. I think my late junior year I committed, and then I went there they let me visit, and then yeah, my second time was actually just moving into the dorm.
Holy
But yeah,
cow.
my dad was there. My dad went to Hawaii like 3 times for his work before, but yeah.
Something that's, that I've discovered with women's college volleyball, you guys are starting right out of the gate. So it's got to be so hard for a freshman coming from Louisiana, a new state, way out there, getting adjusted to college life and now college volleyball.
Oh my gosh, let me tell you, Barry, it was crazy. The learning curve for me, not just physically but mentally. Um, because coming from high school, I knew it was going to be different. My goal was to make an impact, and I really wanted to start. And so that was my goal. And I don't know, familiar with athletics, there's something that a lot of teams do called double days, where you have before season, it's 2 straight weeks of 2 practices a day, and it's grueling, it's tough. And I remembered I literally cried every single
Oh
day
no.
because literally the results weren't coming as fast as I wanted them to, but I was putting unrealistic expectations on myself. The coaches kept telling me just be patient, stay patient. And patience was a huge thing that I grew with coming from high school to college, I would
Yeah.
say.
And now,
Yeah.
with, like you were just talking about, you wanted to start. That's something that's, not many freshmen get to do because, and it's got to be a hard adjustment because coming from club and high school where you're the alpha, you're the starter, you're the star, and now you're coming to that next level. And, most kids are bench, coming off the bench or role players. How big of an adjustment was that?
Yeah, and I knew that especially after like I realized like not normally freshmen don't play, or normally freshmen aren't expected to play. And so knowing that, I was just like, okay, I just need to work as hard as I can, literally work as hard as I can for these 2 weeks, because after those 2 weeks she puts the lineup in,
Yeah.
and so I was like, let me just work the hardest for these 2 weeks, do what I can off the court, meditate, go to treatment. I literally went to treatment like twice a day. I did every single thing I could in order to do the things I can control in order to get the output I would want. And if I didn't, I would still work hard. But I wanted to do everything I could in my control. But yeah, knowing that freshmen usually like kind of earn their way up.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and it usually takes a little longer for freshmen. It's rewarding to know that I worked hard to start early on,
Yeah.
but yeah, it was still difficult, but yeah, it's really rewarding to know that I started early on for sure.
Nice. And now, do you remember that first game?
Oh my gosh, yes, I remember. I think my first point was a tip. I think I remember that. I never even. I think I was getting juked out. I played middle position, but I think I remember I was getting juked out all the time by the other side of the center. But I just remember the crowd. The crowd was awesome. Hawaii's crowd is like the best crowd in the country, in my opinion. And yeah, they were amazing that game.
Yeah. Yeah. I've heard that from, a lot of the UH people, I've had a bunch of the guys that have been on and they just talk about the crowd, the atmosphere is just so special.
Oh my gosh, it's amazing. And you can feel how much they care through their cheers. And I always poke fun because you can make a mistake and you'll hear it, and you can do something good and you'll hear it. Like you hear the groans like, oh, and then if you do something well, you hear cheering. And so it's something cool that you have to learn to sometimes when you're playing tune out, but also feel the energy come from them, and find that peace within it. So yeah, the Hawaii culture is just amazing. You go to the grocery store and they tell you how fun it is to watch your team, or if you didn't do so well, they'll tell you do this better next time. So yeah, it's such a cool place to be, and I miss it dearly, literally every day. But there's nothing like Hawaii,
Yeah.
the Hawaiian crowd.
And now, what was the biggest adjustment coming from club high school play to college? In Europe, if you can remember back then.
Mm. In my opinion, the hardest thing was for me defense, blocking. I was always, offensive, and didn't really pay too much attention to blocking. And quite frankly, I hated blocking when I was in club. But I learned to really love like my defensive part of the game, and just staying patient and reading and reacting quickly, and just really using my eyes to watch the game. And so I would say for me, I always tell people the pace of the game was what I really had to adjust to. To me, it was fast because normally in club, you don't play super fast. But yeah, for me, it was the pace of the game. And so I really had to work on like my reactive skills and just using my eyes really. So yeah.
All right. And now that, that first year, were there any, peers, seniors that really were there that stepped up and helped you get through that first year?
Oh my gosh, yes. I really don't know what I would do without anyone on that 2019 team. Every single person helped me, and I would really say the seniors, I always say to this day, were like the best seniors I've ever had, ever. Oh my gosh, every single senior were like different characters of a movie that just helped you along the way. And it was something like I've never seen before, and it was a great team. We were like ranked, I think we were ranked like 15 in the country. Like it was amazing. Like they really carried our team up, and they were just they really helped me almost set the standard for myself and like the team on what to do in the future. So they were awesome.
Excellent. And now, knowing what you know now, what would you, if you could go back in time and, tell freshman Amber some advice, what would that advice be?
Oh my gosh, what would I tell myself? I would tell myself to stay patient a little earlier on. I would also tell myself to what is the word, to be more assertive, because I'm a very nice person. I'm learning to be more assertive when it comes to volleyball, especially because to just be more assertive, especially with my voice. I would say that's a big one for me,
Right.
especially being younger. Yeah.
Yeah. And now over the 4 years there, were you there for COVID year too?
Yes, sir. I was there all 5 years.
What was the COVID year like? Did you guys even have a season?
Oh, okay. No, not that one. I think my fifth year. Excuse me. No, yeah, my COVID year, we were at home, so they shut down everything.
Oh,
I think we
wow.
were the one of the few teams in the country that canceled our season, actually.
Yeah.
So it was super tough. They canceled our season, but then that spring, I actually played beach volleyball. It was crazy. I played beach volleyball, and yeah, it was so much fun. And I think that actually helped my game a lot. So.
Okay. Now, did you play beach for UH?
Yes, I played beach for UH. That spring they opened up, the practicing and everything,
Yeah.
but we still didn't have a season. But I ended up playing beach with some of the girls, and I ended up actually doing well at it. It was actually very tough mentally. It was very, very, very capital very tough. But I think it really worked on my game mentally because you have two players and they only serve you or the other person. They would
Right.
obviously serve me. I'm a middle. So they served me and I learned to, just be calm in those moments. And I think it really helped me.
Now, over that beach session, what skill did you think improved the most by playing beach?
Oh, I would say 100% my ball control. A lot of people I think look over ball control as a middle because we just, go up and hit and block. But
Right.
you do have to have a rotation where you serve and you play defense, or you might have to set. So I think one of the things I do take pride in is, and one of the things I think is the most fun is playing defense back row. So I think that I know for a fact that beach definitely helped me just be confident in setting and be confident in my first touch, and I take pride in that for sure.
All right. And now looking back at your career at UH, any highlights that really stick out, more than others?
Ooh, highlights like during the game.
No, just during your whole 4 years there. Like, was the
Oh,
trip to Brazil was something that sticks out, or senior night?
oh my gosh, okay, I would say trip to Brazil was obviously, it was so much fun playing with against like another style of volleyball. It was amazing, and I think it made our team get really close. One thing that stood out for me was my last year. We came off with a struggle start. We didn't start the best. We were supposed to, but we didn't start the best. And we lost a few important matches, and we were almost predicted to not make the tournament. We were literally written off on not making the tournament, which hasn't happened in a lot of years. And
Yeah.
so my last year, I felt sick thinking that was going to happen, and it was like a movie. Like after senior night, it was like a magic night. We we I think we beat Long Beach, and then that just almost was like a rocket that took us up, and then we went to Long Beach in order to make the Big West tournament. And if anyone's familiar, you have to win the Big West tournament in order to make the NCAAs. And so we ended up winning against Long Beach to win the Big West tournament, and then we went to the NCAA tournament, which was I couldn't ask for a better last year. I think
Yeah.
we peaked at just the right time, and it was just all about timing. So that's
Nice.
my favorite memory, honestly.
All right. And now,
Yeah.
speaking of your last year, you're moving on. Any words to the seniors that are going to carry the torch next year? Any advice?
Oh my gosh, I love my girls back there. I would just say to be assertive. That's the advice that I would give myself. Be assertive. I would say to enjoy the moment, have fun. Coach Rob, the coach of Hawaii volleyball, women's volleyball, always says, it goes by so fast like that. And I knew that coming in freshman year. I was like, okay, I need to remember every single day because I know it's going to go by so fast. So I would say really soak it in, and you'll have no regrets. And yeah, I would just say to just go for it. Like, you're not going to regret it if you just go for it. And even if it doesn't go the way you planned, you know that you went for it. So I
Nice.
would say that.
All
Yeah.
right. Excellent. And now, any I asked this from a lot of the players, is, during the course of the season, who was the joker? The one that could just crack a moment, like, things are really serious and you need something to crack that tension. Who was that person on last year's team?
Oh my gosh, I don't even know. I would say they are. I always tell people our team was literally the funniest team I think in the country. Like, no one can tell me any different. Like, the things we talk about in the locker room is actually hilarious. But I would say Jacyn Bamis. Anyone knows her? Go look her up. She's hilarious. Actually, she's gorgeous, gorgeous girl, great player, but she's hilarious behind all of that. And me and Kennedy Evans would just crack up all the time. We would clown around all the time, I would say. And yeah, our team was really funny, actually. So,
All right.
yeah.
And now something that's unique with UH is, where you guys are located, your road trips. What are your, were the road trips fun, or were they just long?
Oh my gosh, our road trips were super fun, but it's definitely grueling. It's very long. For people that don't know, we travel every other weekend because obviously, like, we're in Hawaii. We have to go to California every other weekend, and it takes a toll because we're still in school, so you really have to just be on top of it. And I think the plane rides for other people were fun. For me, they were terrifying because I really do not like planes. Planes are one of my big fears. You would think I wouldn't have a fear by now because I've flown probably umpteen million times, but it's so scary for me. But I just, like, me and Kennedy, my good friend that we just played this past season, she would look at me anytime the turbulence came and she would like hold my hands. I'm like, okay. So yeah, those were fun memories for sure. But yeah, the travel schedule is crazy in Hawaii. It's crazy.
And now during the, was there a game circled, you guys had it on the calendar and it was circled. Any particular game that you looked forward to the most?
Yes. We looked forward to Long Beach's, I think, the most. And Santa Barbara as well. I think Santa Barbara, we're the only ones still that we didn't get to win against them last season, which, that's still circled on my list to this day. But I think Long Beach for sure was one that we really um, wanted handled, especially because they were the ones that we had to beat them in order to make the NCAA tournament.
Yeah.
So yeah, they were circled on our list early on.
All right. There we go. And now, any words to the coaches now that you've had a few months being away? Anything you'd like to say to them?
Oh my gosh, I literally text the coaches all the time. They're probably bothered by me, but I love them so much. I always get emotional talking about them because they really took a chance on me. Like I told you, I came from Red Storm Club, amazing club. And we weren't necessarily in the open category all the time, but, we still worked hard. And I think the coaches took a chance to really watch our team. And they really took a chance on me. A girl from Louisiana. And I love that they really, I love that. And Coach Rob especially just really didn't put me in a box as a middle. Like I said before, usually middles, you don't take time in practice to play defense and everything. And she would literally stick the middles in the same lines as the outsides and the liberos, like everything. And so that just shows you how much pride she takes in valuing every single aspect of the game.
Yeah.
And wanting to be an all-rounded, well-rounded player. And yeah, I love Coach Nick. I love Coach Khalil. I love the whole coaching staff. They're really so special to me, and I can't wait to see them soon.
Right, there we go. And now, you've been away now for a few months. What have you missing the most?
Ooh, what I'm missing the most. I was missing I think the small, just like the small things, like being with my friends, going with them, to do every single thing. Obviously when you go to a different club team, you have to make new relationships, which I made great relationships back in Rome. But a lot of them are older, and so I cherished some of my girls back in college, some of my best friends, and also my family. I miss my family and the food. I hate talking about food. I'm sorry guys, but I'm such a foodie and I loved the Louisiana food. But I miss the little things, and I also miss the big things like weddings and everything like that.
Yeah.
So I didn't want to miss any of that.
All right.
But yeah.
Yeah, I had a couple of seniors that moved on and played pro. They said they missed the locker room, the college locker room, because they said the pro locker room was different than the college locker room.
Yes. It's different. It's for sure different. And I knew that leaving college, I was like, there's nothing going to be like, college relationships and college locker room talk, and it's really the little things that you miss. Just, after practice, oh, let's go get a smoothie. We all go get one, and we're young, so we don't have to attend to children or a husband. So it's just different, even though the older I get, I'll definitely value other things as well. But just the little things like the locker room talk was just hilarious.
Yeah.
And us bonding over how hard practice is, it's definitely different, whether as in pro, it's your job at that point, so
right.
You can't really complain. So yeah.
All right. And now that you're safely away from UH, what was your the workout or the drill that you hated most?
Safely away from UH. The workout that I can tell you, a little secret, I can tell you the workout that everyone dreaded, or just a drill that everyone dreaded the most. There's a few. One is called 150s. My Hawaii girls, hopefully we definitely remember what that is, but it's so hard for me to explain. But it's basically you have 5 players on each side, and you have to run under the net and keep the ball going. And it's basically you're running laps the whole time. And also another thing would be, it's called Coach on One. And it's basically when, let's say, maybe a ball drops and no one goes for it, or something happens where the coach feels like this drill needs to happen. And so what Coach Rob or some of the coaches would used to do is that she tosses as many balls and you have to touch all of them. And so it can go on for 1 minute, it can go on for 5 minutes. So yeah, and so that's the drill that you do not want to be a part of. And you got to do your job so you won't do it. So,
all right, there we go. And now, also I've read that you had a chance to practice with the U.S. national team. What was that experience like?
Oh, that was so awesome. That was last summer and it was just amazing. I think it was they invited like 20 or 50, it was 15 or 20 collegiate athletes, like, and they were collegiate athletes I would watch all the time, and would just I would wish to play with one day. And so I think it was really cool getting to see them close up off the without the uniform, and then with like the USA practice uniform. So it was really cool. And having to be coached by coach and all the staff was super cool as well, and see how they coach and their coaching style, which was really nice. But yeah, it was really cool, and yeah, that it was awesome.
Excellent. All right. So now after UH, you decided to go pro. What made you decide to, play pro and then ended up in Italy?
Yeah, so my dream, it's literally on my vision board, has been to play or start my career off in Italy. It's one of the best leagues in the world, and Italy, like it's like the best of both worlds. You have the best volleyball, and then you also have an amazing outside of volleyball, surrounding life. Like the food's great,
Mm-hmm.
the people are so nice, and it's a beautiful, beautiful place, and so yeah, it's been my dream, and it was hard, but it was amazing starting. It was amazing going into Italy,
Yeah.
playing that. I wouldn't have wanted to play there anywhere else.
All right. Now I've had a couple of I had Chaz Galloway on from the men's side at UH, and I asked him
Yeah.
about, they went to Japan, Japan and played over there. And he said it was a different style of game that they weren't used to, like that they ran up against. Now, you said you guys, when at UH, you went and played down in Brazil and then playing over Italy. Did you see a different style of how they approached the game or how they played it?
Yeah, I would say for sure. I think for everywhere it's so different. I feel like in Brazil, um, they might not be the tallest, but they have a lot of power. They have a lot of power. They use a lot of ball control. Because they're not maybe the tallest. And I would say in Italy, you almost have both. They're both tall. They're all tall, and they all have power. So, yeah, I really like the style in Italy. I think it wasn't too different from the American style of
Mm-hmm.
volleyball. In Japan, you have like they're very fast, and they're very like
Technical.
oriented with yeah, exactly, with their technicalities and everything. But in Italy, it's almost like everything is very well rounded, which I really loved and respected. And yeah, it was a really cool style of play. Yeah, I really liked it in Italy.
All right. And now, any highlights from that, that first, season pro?
Oh my gosh, it was like a dream. I started my first game, and after I started my first game that I started, I got the MVP award, which is super cool. Like I might not be a big deal to like other older pro members, but I thought it was super cool. I literally thought it was so funny how they give you like a Lemoncello bottle, like an alcoholic bottle. I'm like, of course, only in Italy they would give you that as a trophy for MVP. But I thought it was super cool, and I got to play against players that I've watched for as young as I was.
Mm-hmm.
I literally played against Kelsey Robinson and Catherine Plummer. I've watched them and I've respected them for so long, and I got to play against the best team, literally, quite literally named the best team in the world. And I think it was awesome, and it was a dream come true. So yeah, I value those games a lot.
Yeah. And was it nice to have familiar faces and, Americans over that have made the process, easier to get used to?
Yes, actually there was one American on my team, named Courtney. She was awesome. And surprisingly everyone on my team spoke English, and I made some really good Italian friends on the team, and they taught me some Italian, and they knew English. So it was like it wasn't even hard at all for
Mm-hmm.
me. With the language barrier, because even if we're all in groups outside of volleyball, they would like just translate for me and tell me real quick, and then I would like pitch into the conversation. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
it was really cool, and they were really warming to me, which I can't thank them enough, honestly.
Excellent. And now, from a practice standpoint, how did the pro teams approach practice and training? Was it a lot? Was it similar to UH, or was it like night and day?
Well, it was almost it's pretty it was pretty different, I think, for UH, because in UH we did a lot of technical work and a lot of separated drills. Like you would have probably the middles go on that side, and then you would have, you know, your setters and you have your libs, and our UH court, like 3 courts. But in Italy, we would have a technical work for maybe like probably 30 minutes, maybe an hour, and then the rest we would play. So it's like we play for a long time. We dedicate a lot of time to not just straight sixes, but a lot of input play. So
Yeah.
yeah, and so I value that too, because you learn a lot when you play.
Yeah.
So I think that was great. And then I like how it was open for anyone to have reps after practice if you didn't feel like you got all you needed with technical work or anything like that. So yeah, it was a really cool system that we had.
Excellent. And now, you know, as a middle, what was your like? What's your favorite thing? Either getting that one-on-one block on somebody, or hitting around like a double or triple block.
Oh gosh, I really, which one do I love the most? I used to really love attacking and making a kill. That used to be my favorite thing, but I really think it's situational. Like, let's say the other girl on the other team just blocks me, and then she comes and hits the ball, and I block her. Then the block is like the best feeling in the world. But let's say, you know, you need a kill, your team needs a kill, and you get that kill for them. Then that's the best feeling in the world. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So I think it really is situational. It's really situational, but I absolutely love blocks and kills. It's like amazing.
Yeah.
And even defense. Defense is great too. But I think as a middle, getting a dig in the back row, chef's kiss. It's awesome.
I love it. And now, did you have any pregame rituals or routines that you always did?
I never was that person that had exactly every single thing. Maybe I would have, you know, like some key things, like I would always talk to my mom before the game. I would always pray before the game and do my breath work and everything like that. What else would I do? Yeah, I'm not one of those really superstitious people, but I do have certain things that need to keep me calm, like my prayer and my talking to my mom. I need those things for sure.
There we go. Excellent. All right. So I got a couple of questions from a coach and a player, high school coach. So the coach wants to know, what are some of the little things that you've learned to help you with your blocking?
Oh, one of the little things that have helped me. Okay. It's so much. So I would say, on a technical standpoint, I would say there's certain drills that you can do that really can help you with blocking, like something as simple as having like 2 weighted balls, and having 2 weighted balls and or in one hand, and jumping, so your hand really is over the net, so you can practice on dropping your hand, because as middles I think dropping your hand is really important. I think something as simple as standing in the middle of the net and having someone point, and you react that way fast, in a fast way, is really important, and it really helps me as well. And from a just like a mental standpoint, like just a volley IQ standpoint, when you're about to play a team, watching film and knowing the trends that the setter and who she likes to set during which time of the game, those are very important, just so you know, and make your life easier. So things like that. Yeah.
All right. And now from a high school standpoint, she wants to know, what are some common mistakes, young players make when learning to play as a middle blocker?
Ooh, common mistakes. My number one thing is giving up early, or not giving up early, not making yourself available all the time. And for me, as a player, for my big thing is I always want to make myself available, because you never know if the setter is going to set you. As a middle, you have to be quick and you have to be up on time so the setter can even set you. So if it's a fast transition play, the ball comes over the net and you decide it's too fast and you're like, oh, okay, I'll just give up, the setter's not going to trust you or set you, And so you have to really be up all the time, and or all the time, as much as you can, that you can help it, so the setter can see that you're available. And everyone loves kills, so you want to be up so she can set you, you know? So I would say make yourself available all the time.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
Excellent. And now, something that, a lot of sports, but especially with volleyball, it's, it's largely physical, but also a huge part of it is the mental aspect of things.
Mm-hmm.
What have helped you sort of reset or just, clear your mind after a bad play or, to get yourself back in the game?
Yeah. So, I don't know almost how to even word it, but it's something I always think of when I whether I make a mistake or whether I did something where I'm like, I shouldn't have made that play, whatever. I always think tactically instead of emotionally, because a lot of the times as players, we sort of, it's good to be emotional and passionate because I would call myself that type of player, but you really can't let your emotions take over with how you play. And so I always say, think like you almost like not play like a robot, but almost think like a robot. So think tactically. If I just hit that ball out, I have to quickly think, okay, what my elbow, I was dropped. Okay, next play. It's not like, I suck, I'm a horrible person. No,
Right.
just think almost think like a robot. Like think of how a robot would literally think of it. Like,
Yeah.
okay, your elbow is dropped. Not okay, you suck. Like don't think emotionally like that.
Yeah.
So I really had to learn it like that, but all at the same time have that balance of having fun and having a good time while you're playing,
Yeah.
and I think that's a cool balance. So
All right.
yeah.
Excellent. So now, this is a fun question. I had Eric Shoji on a while ago,
Love
and
him.
he's amazing, amazing person, amazing player. Just, how can you not like the guy? So I asked him, so him and Taylor talked about what's the most demanding position in volleyball. So I would love to hear what your take is we'll go physical first. What's the most demanding position on a volleyball court?
Okay. I think I've seen Taylor. Are you talking about Taylor Averill?
Yes.
Yes, I've seen their conversation on that. And I think I agree with Taylor because I believe he thinks it's middle or setters.
Mm-hmm.
For me personally, I think it's middle blockers or setters. Middle blockers, we're quite literally having to, I think it takes every single part of your body, your brain, you have to know, pick up where the set is going. You have to go towards that set. Then you have to jump. Then you have to literally get off the net, which, okay, the other hitters do that too. But you're having to jump and be on time every single point. If you're running a true tempo, you're up in the air before she's even like while she's touching the ball rather than the other pin hitters. And so I definitely think that middle's grueling. And then you're always in the way. Everyone's pushing the middle around. You're always in the way. You're like a sore thumb. You want to be the setter. I think it's for sure one of the toughest physically.
Yeah.
For sure. Almost well-rounded, for sure.
All
yeah.
Right. And then mentally, what's the toughest spot? Is it still middles?
everyone knows it's a setter, I feel like. I think everyone has to agree, especially when you get to a really high level. I think setters, I really don't know how their brain doesn't explode when they're playing a game because it's tough. You have to see who's hot. You have to see who's maybe a weaker blocker on the other side, so you can set on this side. You have to run the team.
Yeah.
So
excellent. And now, one thing I forgot to ask you, when you played when you went over and played pro, what was the level of play like from college to pro? Was it a huge jump or was it like, okay, this is just sort of that next level?
Yes, for me, it was, I don't know. I feel like going to Italy, I knew that it was going to be tough because they're one of the countries that are like the best in volleyball. And so I knew that it was going to be tough. So I had to put that in my mind and I had to trust myself and trust my skill set that I could sort of hang with them. And so it was really tough. The first practice, I'm not going to lie to you, I cried after the first practice.
Oh, no.
It was really, really tough. No, not, it was, it was tough.
Yeah.
But after the second, third practice, fourth practice, you get caught up to the speed, you get caught up to these women really hitting hard, and so I think I think it was amazing. It was the best thing I could have done because the level's really, really high and it just makes you so much better. And yeah, I loved playing them, playing with them and against them as well. But yeah, it was tough, but it was great. I love tough volleyball. So
Excellent. And now, for that, next year, that senior who may go and play pro, any advice for them that your first season, you can take away with and say, hey, do this, or, get ready for that.
okay, my thing is have an open mind. Have an open mind. I think what really helped me was my coach rahb, was like, when you go to play pro, she told me since I was, I think since I was like a sophomore in college, she told me when you go to play pro, the facilities might not be the shiniest, the coach might not be the nicest, this might not be this like almost not lower your expectations, but have an open mind, you know? And so when I came into Italy, I had such an open mind, and everything was almost just exceeding my expectations. And I think you have to put it in your mind that it's not going to be peaches and sunshine the first week, because it can't be. Or like it's almost like life is supposed to have an uphill, and I expected the uphill, and I think I climbed the uphill, especially my first week playing pro. So I think you almost have to have an open mind. Is definitely my number one tip.
All right. And now, what's next for you for next year? We talked a little bit. You are going to be playing stateside, hopefully.
Let's hope, but I'm open to anywhere God puts me, honestly. But yeah, I'm playing Love volleyball. I'm going to be a professional volleyball player for Love this coming season, and it's the inaugural season. The first full season for American League, and so I'm super excited. We have like amazing coaches that they collected, and amazing players, literally like past Olympians coming. And I think it's going to shake everyone. It's going to shake the world. I think it has the potential to be the best league in the world. So I'm super excited to start that off, and I'm super grateful, honestly.
How awesome is that? Your family are going to be able to see you play pro ball in the States.
Yes, exactly. They don't have to travel to maybe Italy or Hawaii. Hawaii was like freaking 9 hours, even though they still came. But they get to come, in the mainland, which is super cool. Yeah, I'm eternally grateful for Love for giving me the opportunity for that, and hopefully it'll take off like we want to, and yeah, I think it's gonna be great. So
excellent. All right, and now when you're not doing anything volleyball related, what do you like to do? What do you enjoy?
Oh my gosh, I love cooking. Absolutely love cooking. I love eating. I have my friends that are foodies with me. We love trying new foods, everything like that. I love hanging out with my friends. Reading is a big thing for me. I love reading, and podcasts. I love listening to a podcast. I'm cooking, listening to a podcast, showering, listening to a podcast, working out, listening to a podcast. So I love all things like that. Yeah.
All right. And now, what is your go-to meal? What is the best meal you make?
Oh my gosh, jambalaya. I'm actually making it in a couple days. So, and I'm making a video about it, and I'm going to post it. So jambalaya is my number one meal. It's a Southern dish. Number one meal I love to cook.
Any secret ingredients or twists you do to your jambalaya?
A box mix. No, I'm just kidding. Honestly, I'm not kidding. We're kidding. No, but I don't even know a secret ingredient. Bay leaf. If anyone knows that spice, bay leaf is like a little secret I put in there. I think everyone does, but
excellent. All right. Well, Amber, you survived the podcast, but before I let you go, though, I like with past guests, I ask you to recommend or shout out somebody in your volleyball circle that would have a good story that should come on the podcast and share.
Oh, a good person to come on your podcast?
Yes, in your circle.
Oh, in my circle. Okay, I have 3 people. All
right.
I have Kennedi Evans. She was my last. She was my teammate from my last season in Hawaii. Braylon Akana. She was my teammate from 2 years ago. She's my best friend as well. And Tiffany Westerberg. So those three players, past players from Hawaii volleyball. You should interview them.
There we go. Well, I'll get you to twist some arms and we'll get them on.
Okay, perfect.
All right. Well, Amber, thank you so much. Enjoy the rest of enjoy the summer, and good luck to you next season.
Thank you so much for having me. Thank you.